name's Henrietta and welcome to the Britain's Community Channel podcast. Please like and subscribe to this channel. This is a new podcast for the Britain's Community Channel. Welcome to Joe Drage Digital Content Production and welcome our guest, Joe Drage.
Hello, nice to be here.
Nice to meet you too. Tell me more about Joe Drage's digital content production.
Yeah, so I've set up a little business. We do aerial video and digital content production. So if you need any promotional videos or you need some graphics making for promotional videos or, for example, drone work, I've set up a little business providing those services. Really enjoying it, and it's going really well so far.
Their services, are they to the local, what area?
We're based in Northamptonshire. So I tend to do the 40-mile radius around Northampton, but I do extend it out to wherever people want me. And I've done stuff over in Norfolk. I've done stuff down south in Cornwall. It's really nice to be able to travel around and do little bits and bobs here, there, and everywhere.
Was it more of a need or an ambition to start the company?
I think it was a bit of both. So I've always had the idea that I wanted to work for myself. And I last year started up a company called Flux Media Productions with a couple of friends. But I decided to part from that in December to go off and do freelance because of my own reasons. I wanted to do my own stuff. It's I suppose it's a bit of both really, because I've been in part-time work, working in different various jobs, and I wanted it to be so I didn't have to part-time work anymore, so I could get my own income, decide when I wanted to work, when I could do it, and I think it's sort of a bit of both. But I also did want to start my own company. I wanted to be able to do video production. I'd invested in the equipment. So I think it's a bit
You
of
kind
both,
of wanted
really.
to go freelance and have control of the work that you do and what you do because it's your passion.
Yeah, exactly. So I could choose how I wanted to do it, when I want to do it, and if I need anyone else along, I can always pay them to come along and give me a hand with stuff. And I've done that a couple of times. It works really well.
What are the values or principles of Joe Drage's digital content production?
Well, I'd say probably I want it to be as professional as possible. Have a good reputation. So fast replies, fast turnarounds of work. Getting it up to the standard that people would want it to be, whilst not being overly expensive. Obviously, being fairly paid for it all, but just going out of the way to make sure people get what they want out of it. They're probably the main values of it.
They're very sound values, and how it should kind of be done, professional and organised. What occasions and events do you do?
It completely varies. There's such a wide range of services that I can offer after investing into the equipment. So I've got my Sony A7 III, which is a professional camera, DSLR, mirrorless camera that I can use for videoing and photos. So I can do either video or photo. I've got my gimbal, which is useful for getting some nice smooth shots. So I can do sports stuff. I can do and I mainly use it for things like weddings or events. I've done a couple of events, charity events with Cynthia Spencer at the hospice in Northampton, and I've done a couple of fun runs and other places like that. But then obviously there's also the aerial work, so there's doing roof inspections. There's so many opportunities for it. But mainly I try and stick to promotional video. Because they're fairly simple to do, but they can also be really, really good for your portfolio. If it's photography, I'll try and I don't tend to do people photography, so like in a studio, but I'll happily go along and take some photos of people with random things, whatever they'd like. I tend to offer that in with the video stuff, so as long as I don't really tend to go and do photography by myself, I'll be doing a video project and I'll say, do you want some photos as well? And then obviously there's the drone stuff, which depends as well completely on what it wants. It's either going to be cinematic, filled with some really nice video or some photos, or it's going to be like a roof inspection where you just film constantly, so the people, when you send the video over, so they can have a look at what it is. And then there's the graphics work I do as well. Not really logo design. I used to do a bit of logo design, but I've decided to step away from that. And it tends to be, I'm at the moment currently working on a brochure for a local company. And yeah, just trying to get as much as I can under my belt whilst I'm starting out to be able to show to clients.
That's very rightly so, because once you're starting out, you need a lot of variety of different projects in order to showcase your skills and talent and enhance your work.
Yes, exactly. I'd say if you're, yeah, exactly. If you're trying to get into this industry, what you need under your belt is a load of. I started out by doing a load of free work. I'd say it's probably the last few months that I've been getting regular paid work, but a lot of my work has been event videos for charity videos or just freebies for people to get your name out on social media. Big events, for example, the fun run I told about. It was the Quirky Races fun run last year, and they put that out on social media, and it just spreads your name around, so people see it, and then eventually you get work, and it's all starting to pay off now.
Everything does eventually pay off. What What is
It
your
does.
target audience?
Again, that's gonna. It depends. I'd say there's two different. You could look at this two different aspects. Aspects. Sorry. If I'm looking to market myself, it would probably be towards people that are looking for videos. Again, it's going to depend if I'm targeting weddings, I'll target that towards potential couples. It's going to be a younger demographic normally. Saying that, I have shot weddings for elder people. That's very sort of a wide range of people. But then if the actual things themselves, it's going to depend on what the company is targeting. It's going to be something completely different. For example, a Christmas tree shop I shot back in December, that was more family orientated. Whereas the PPG video, a patient participation group video for a doctor's surgery, I shot back in February. Again, that was another free bit of work. But that will be targeted towards people that are retired and want to become part of the patient participation group. So yeah, it can be a completely different range. It just that's why when you're finding out about a job, it's really important to find out what their target audience is, so you can sort of sort out how you shoot the video, how you edit the video to match that demographic.
It's very important to have done your research and identify what the brief is and how you're going to tailor it based on what you've got.
Yes, exactly that. It's let's say you've nailed it on the head there.
You said you do a variety of occasions. Are they mainly Northamptonshire based, or are they based in a wide area?
I'd say at the moment, a lot of my stuff's been a lot of the free stuff has been local events, because that's the best thing you can do. Is if you're doing loads of local events, that spreads your name out within your local area. So an example of something that I've done regularly is Malton Festival. The village where I live in Malton. It's they have a Malton Festival every May. So it's a Maytime festival. It has the Carnival Queen going through and everything. And me and a couple of friends, we've always filmed it every year. Made a little promotional video to post in the village group on Facebook, and it always goes down an absolute treat. We film the fun run the week before, and then we film the festival the week after, and depending on how much footage we got, we'll either make two separate videos or one big one. But we didn't do it this year, obviously, because we did a virtual video, which is also on my social media, which worked really, really well. So we had we went around, filmed every Morris man separately, and put the track together so you could hear what it would look like on the festival day. And then we went around getting pictures of all the houses that have been decorated around the village. So yeah, that's probably a local area, but a bit more work's been now coming in a little bit further out. So I've been doing obviously that Christmas tree farms in Woppenham. I've done some drone shots over in Norfolk for a golf course, and it's gradually getting bigger and bigger.
Tell me more about some of your favourite content on your website that would interest our listeners.
Oh, I'd say it's going to depend on who's listening. So I'm really happy with a wedding that I shot in January. for a couple called Ethan and Rachel. We shot that at Moulton Church and Overston Park Golf Club. It was really just a 4-minute little highlights reel of the day, but it was really, really nice. Really enjoyed the day. So that's all on my website, it's all on my social media. But there's also a friend of mine does clothing selling called Culture Force on Depop. I've made a load of graphics for him for his selling of his clothes. So he's doing giveaways and stuff. It's just to him to promote himself. So I've made some graphics and stuff for that, and I'm really happy with them. They're also they're not on my website yet. They will be soon, but they're on my social media channels as well.
Because the work that you do in those ways, you're helping spread other people's content or their product and what they're trying to sell. So it's a I help you, you help me kind of system.
Yes, yeah, exactly. It's great to be able to, especially with social media nowadays, being able to link with other companies and little businesses.
Do you have any specific niches on your social media on each social media channel?
I wouldn't say so at the moment. I'd say probably I try and just get as much content out as possible on. So I'm only currently on Facebook and Instagram. Twitter's one of those things I'm looking into to getting, and I've got LinkedIn as well. But LinkedIn obviously is a little bit more formal. So it would be more corporate type stuff that I'd put on there. Whereas Instagram and Facebook I use a lot to show off stuff that I've done. Instagram tends to be I will upload full videos, but they tend to be sort of shorter snippets more regularly. Whereas Facebook, I tend to post longer full videos because Facebook likes it when you upload longer videos there. And I put them into different sort of playlists. So we've got promotion videos, wedding videos, graphics work, stuff like that. But yeah, I'd say at the moment, I'd say probably Facebook is looking. It tends to be an older demographic than Instagram. So Instagram tends to be younger people, which tend to. I try and fill the screen up as much as possible with my stuff, so I'll always have it the aspect ratio to be longer, so it fills up the whole screen. Whereas Facebook prefers just a normal video. So yeah, it's I'd say Facebook's probably an older demographic, whereas Instagram is probably a younger one.
How have you been managing during lockdown? Have you made any new content?
Yeah, well, lockdown's been probably the best thing. I've been really fortunate with my part-time jobs. Before lockdown, I was working a couple of part-time jobs and I wasn't getting much work in. I was doing a lot of free stuff for people. But obviously we got put on furlough in lockdown for my part-time job. So I've used the money that I've been getting from furlough to obviously just settle my own finances and stuff, but also to be able to grow the business out. And it's just so happened that I've had loads in the last few weeks of loads of drone work come in. I don't know where it's come from, but it's been very welcomed, and it's been really good just being able to create stuff with people properly, getting paid for stuff, and yeah, it's been really nice being able to just get some more stuff that I can add to my portfolio. I've been that busy. I've not been able to finish my social media schedules, or I need to update my website. I'm currently in the process of building a new website, which I started in lockdown, but I've just been so busy with client work that I've not had a chance to do that yet. So that's my next job once I finish these few jobs that are coming up.
Thank you for taking your time to come and talk to me, even though you've got a really busy schedule.
No, it's absolutely fine.
Have you created any charity-based content?
Yes, so I am an official volunteer now at Cynthia Spencer Hospice in it's up near Boothville, just out on the outskirts of Northampton. Um, and I had some connections with them. My granddad was cared for in there, so I wanted to give a little bit back to them to say thank you for all the help he had there. And I have done over lockdown, particularly a lot of graphics work for them for their social media campaigns. They've got their Pledge for Cynthia campaign. They've got their Forget Me Not campaign and stuff like that. I've made probably 3 or 4 Facebook frames for them, profile picture frames. I've done a couple of graphics work. Just recently did a promotional video for them about their conference centre with their new social distancing measures. And yeah, it's really good because it's quite good to do the charity stuff because you're working for a professional organisation, and although you're not getting paid for it, it's great because the pressure's not there as much as when you are getting paid, because you can try new things, experiment with things, and if they don't like it, they'll say we don't really like that. Working with Victoria up there as well, it's really, really good because she knows exactly what she wants. She'll say if she doesn't want something, or what exactly what she wants. And yeah, it's great to be able to just. I was meant to be filming their colour run back in May, and that's how I made the connection with them. So I made contact with them and said, "Would you like it filming?" But obviously that didn't happen. But yeah, they've got me doing a load of other stuff, and it's been really, really good.
So you say that working for charities gives you a bit more freedom in how you want to create your work, as well as trying to cater a bit more client specific.
Yes, yeah. So obviously I still act within their brand guidelines, but it's for example, I made for their Pledge for Cynthia campaign. I made a 15-20 second animation for them, showing some of the pictures and stuff. It's just a little sort of social media advert, and it was just something I'd never done before, and it was great to be able to say, yeah, I can do that now. I could go to a client that was paying and say, yeah, I could do that for you. I know roughly how long it takes to do. And yeah, it's I'd say it's definitely something you should do if you're trying to get into this industry. Free work is definitely the best way to go at first. Gets your name out there, gets your experience. You can say you've worked with these companies, and it obviously adds to your portfolio and showreel.
What social media channels can people use to contact you? These will be posted in the description below.
So I've got Facebook, and that's either you can search for Joe Drage Video and Content Production, and you'll find that on Facebook. You'll see my logo; it's a blue logo. And there's also Instagram, so it's at Joe Drage Video. You can get me through there, or there's obviously LinkedIn, which I need to get back on top of. That's Joe Drage Video as well. If you search for Joe Drage Video and Content Production on any of them, you'll be able to find me as well.
How do you plan to expand your company?
I'd say at the moment it's just going to be trying to get more work in, but obviously at the moment I'm working a lot of work for a company called Relax Electrical, so that should get me a fair bit of work with them, as well as with some other little businesses that they know. So obviously it sort of works exponentially as you work with more companies, they'll recommend you to others, and then it sort of builds up, and you get a little sort of client base with you. So that's what I'm hoping for. I'm hoping to get a couple of regular clients where I perhaps give them a monthly content plan or something like that, where they pay monthly, and I do a set amount of work for them or something each month. That would be quite cool to do. But I guess the main way to expand at the moment is to keep getting as much work in as possible, and completing it to a high standard, so they come back to you or recommend you to others.
It's a very good way of trying to get repeat customers
Exactly.
to expand your work base.
Yeah, definitely.
What would you say to someone wanting to start vlogging?
Oh yeah, so vlogging. I used to do a lot of vlogging when I was probably I started when I was 16, and that is probably where my confidence came from for presenting, and doing stuff like this. Before I'd be quite timid, not very confident. I'd say what you need. I started on my phone. All I did was on my phone and iMovie on my laptop. Actually, I started on iMovie on my iPad, editing, and now I use Premiere Pro. I'm using the full Adobe suite all the time, and it's over 4 years. It's just progressed, 4 or 5 years. But I look back at my very first vlogs, and you can see how unconfident I am, and you'll get better at it. Just keep going at it. When you're looking at the camera as well, this is my main tip. Don't look at the screen if you're on your phone. Look at the camera, because if eye contact is the key thing that you can do when you're vlogging. Make sure you're looking at the camera so that it looks like you're looking at the audience through the screen, not looking at the screen on your phone, because it will look weird with you looking off to the right or left hand side.
That's a very interesting tips for someone who wants to start vlogging. What tips would you give to someone who wants to progress into video content production?
I'd say probably just get as much work done as you can. If you're at uni at the moment, take up any opportunities they have at uni. Offer to go and do stuff for some of the sports teams, maybe do some videos for the uni. See if anyone needs any videos doing. There's always stuff that people need editing for show reels, or just make the most out of your course at uni if you're doing that, or if you're trying to get into it, you're perhaps not going to uni or college or something. Buy a cheap camera to start on. Probably set yourself back about 300-400 quid. That's the camera that I started on my first one. Save up for that. get started on that, and just get as much work under your belt as you possibly can, working for clients, and obviously just get your social medias going, get your brand going. So obviously my brand before was Flux Media. Now my brand is just my name, but if you type my name into Google now, all my company comes up, and it comes up with some linked sort of articles about me from the university and other things. I'd say just make sure you get your brand going. You get a camera that's good enough for you to use for video production, and just work on your editing. That's probably the best way you can do it.
Do you have any final remarks?
Well, I'd say just thank you for having me along. It's been really cool being able to talk about it. I've not really been able to talk to anyone about this since lockdown obviously happened, and it's nice to be able to sort of spread some tips and advice around to see if anyone else who was in my position a few years back. And I look back and think, wow, how far I've come so far. It's been really, really good.
Joe, thank you for coming to this podcast. Please like and subscribe to this channel if you're interested in more podcasts. Any of Joe Drage's social media content are in the description below if you're interested in visiting any of his websites or social media.
Brilliant.